The question landed like a thunderclap in the quiet office, heavy with meanings no one expected, and in that single moment a tired man's life tilted on its axis without him even realizing it. What began as an awkward joke from a single father trying to survive another exhausting day slowly unraveled into a turning point that would test dignity, fear, hope, and the fragile courage it takes to believe that life can still surprise you when you are already worn thin. Before the story pulls you deeper, take a second right now and show some love to this channel. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the quiet strength of people who keep going even when life feels unfair, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, subscribe for more stories like this, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Your support truly keeps these stories alive. Ethan Miller had learned to live with exhaustion as if it were a permanent limb. Every morning before sunrise, he moved through his small apartment with the careful silence of someone afraid to disturb the only good thing left in his world, his 6-year-old daughter Lily. The place was modest, the paint chipped, the heater unreliable, but it was home. Ethan packed lunches, checked homework, tied shoelaces, and whispered encouragements that were really meant for himself. After his wife died 3 years earlier from a sudden illness, the world had not paused out of respect for his grief. Bills kept coming, time kept moving, and Lily still needed a father who could stand upright even when his heart felt hollow. His job at the architecture firm paid just enough to keep them afloat. Ethan was not a star employee, not because he lacked talent, but because his life outside the office drained him before he even sat at his desk. Late nights were impossible, weekend work meant scrambling for childcare he could barely afford. He smiled often, joked when things got tense, and hid his panic behind dry humor. Most people saw him as the nice guy, the quiet one, the man who never complained. Few saw how close he lived to the edge. His boss, Victoria Reynolds, was a woman known for her sharp mind and impossible standards. She had built her reputation brick by brick in a world that rarely forgave mistakes. To most employees, she was distant and intimidating, always composed, always demanding more. To Ethan, she was simply the woman who signed his paychecks and occasionally nodded at his work with brief approval. What he did not know was that Victoria noticed far more than she let on. She saw the dark circles under his eyes, the way he flinched when meetings ran late, the quiet pride when he spoke about his daughter during casual office chatter. One evening, a critical project fell behind schedule. The office emptied as the sky darkened, leaving only the hum of computers and the weight of unfinished work. Ethan stayed later than usual, anxiety twisting in his chest as he thought of Lily waiting with a neighbor. He worked fast, hands aching, mind foggy. When Victoria walked past his desk and paused, the tension thickened. She mentioned that the deadline was non-negotiable and asked if he could stay the night to finish everything. The words were professional, direct, but the situation felt overwhelming. What came out of Ethan's mouth next was not bravery, but defense disguised as humor. He made a light, self-deprecating joke about being a single dad whose life already felt like one long overnight shift, implying that staying another night might finally push him into total collapse. He laughed softly, expecting nothing more than polite dismissal or irritation. Humor had always been his shield. But something shifted. Victoria did not laugh. She did not walk away. Instead, she studied him, really studied him, and for the first time Ethan felt seen in a way that made his chest tighten. She asked him to sit, not as a boss asserting authority, but as a human being finally opening a door she usually kept locked. That moment, born from an offhand joke, cracked the polished surface of both their lives. Over the following days, changes rippled quietly. Victoria adjusted deadlines without announcing it to the world. She arranged flexible hours without making Ethan feel pitied. She asked about Lily, not out of obligation, but genuine interest. Ethan struggled with suspicion at first, conditioned by years of disappointment to believe kindness always came with strings attached. Still, relief crept in where panic used to live. He could breathe at work. He could focus again. His designs improved, not because he worked harder, but because he was finally allowed to work humanly. As weeks passed, Ethan learned that Victoria's life was not as invincible as it appeared. She had built her empire alone after losing her own family connections long ago, trading vulnerability for control. Watching Ethan juggle fatherhood and responsibility stirred something she had buried deep, a reminder that success without connection was a hollow victory. Their conversations grew longer, more honest, still professional but warm, like two people standing on opposite sides of the same quiet loneliness. The real test came when Lily fell sick one winter night, feverish and scared. Ethan missed an important presentation the next morning, a career-ending mistake by most corporate standards. He expected consequences. Instead, he found understanding. The project was reassigned temporarily, his position secure. In that moment, Ethan realized that his life had not been saved by luck or charity, but by empathy sparked from a single unguarded moment of truth. Time did what it always does, moving forward relentlessly, but now it carried something new. Ethan regained confidence. Lily thrived, sensing the shift in her father's spirit. The office changed too, subtly, as policies softened and people felt safer admitting they were human. Victoria changed most of all, allowing herself to care without fear of losing control. As this story nears its end, if it has touched something inside you, if it reminded you that one small moment can change everything, please take a second to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel. Your engagement helps stories like this reach hearts that need them most. And before the final moment fades, we have one special request for you. Please comment below with the word, hope, and tell us what part of this story stayed with you the longest. In the end, Ethan never stayed the night in the office, but he stayed present in his life, in his daughter's laughter, in his work, and in the quiet understanding that sometimes the bravest thing a person can do is make a small joke that accidentally tells the truth. And in that truth, everything changed.